Welcome to the Big Apple, New York City. You know, you travel down the Queens Midtown Tunnel, you arrive at St. John's. You're watching FS1 College Hoop as the St. John's Red Storm take on the Marquette Golden Eagles. Hello, everyone. I'm Brian Cuss. That's my partner, Jim Spinarco. And I tell you what, Jim, we got two programs here. Basically have the overall the same record. But you got a St. John's team that's led by the great sophomore Julian Champagnie. He leads the Big East in scoring. Marquette will throw 4 starters at you that average double figures. But it's their freshman, Dawson Garcia, who leads the charge.
Yeah, Brian, these are two great guys to really focus on and watch for today's game because Champagnie's a go-to guy for St. John's. They love to get him in the left corner in particular. He shoots the ball 42% from the three-point line, so watch for him to be active. And Garcia is very active also. Inside, they'll post him up. He drives to the basket. Another guy who can step away and shoot it. Both of these guys will have an impact on this game today.
Let's get right to the starting lineups. They're brought to you by Jeep Grand Cherokee. Champagnie leads the Big East in scoring. He averages 21 a game. And Dawson Garcia, best freshman in the Big East, averaging 13 and 7. The officials for today's game: John Gaffney, Mike Stevens, and Jeffrey Anderson, 3 of the best. This is the 38th meeting between Marquette and St. John's. It's a series that dates back to 1959, and it's the Golden Eagles who control the tap. They're in the visiting blue. Theo John asking for it in the post. Works down the jump hook. No good. There's Garcia. His shot is blocked. Steve Wojciechowski, now in his 7th season as Marquette's head coach. 6 in school history and wins, 122 of them. He's 7-6 in his career against St. John's.
Yeah, both of these teams come at you from the defensive end too, Brian, so it'll be interesting starting right now, man-to-man efforts.
Champagnie's first shot, no good. Williams knocks down the triple.
Yeah, nice decision there, too. Also to start things off by Alexander. Don't rush into a shot.
Here's the press.
Yep, little double team action.
This is what St. John's love. They love to turn you over.
Yeah, and when you get it over half court, you got to be careful, too, because they're always looking to flick from behind, double team you on the wings occasionally.
Kobe McEwen, the kick out to Jamal Cain. He misses the 3. Williams to Dunn. Williams again, top of the key, counting.
Boy, nice spot up. That's called just tracking the basketball and filling a void. Ball goes to that left side. Come up and make something happen.
Greg Williams is a streaky shooter. If he gets hot, look out. He's already knocked down 2 triples.
This is key here, too, the way Carton handles the ball for Marquette against this real difficult pressure.
Mike Anderson in his 2nd season as head coach of St. John's. He is 6-1 here at Carnesecca. They don't lose, it seems like, here in this building this season. And you want to talk about a winner. Mike Anderson, 18 straight winning seasons.
Looking for double teams wherever they can. Corners, wings.
Reach in. That shot rejected by Williams.
Well, that's just a timing play just then by Williams defensively. He anticipates the shot going up. See, he almost gets up a little quicker than the shooter does on that play, knowing that the shooter, in that case, McEwen, has to put that ball up.
10 on his shot clock. This is Garcia. He'll give it to DJ Carton. Now 5.
Yeah, with Alexander on him, lefty player will go strong to his left.
There's a kick out, and that 3 is no good. Here's Champagnie. Alexander has it taken away. Kane used the left hand. No. Garcia the follow.
That's one of the things about Garcia. He will stay around the glass. Good effort by the young player to Prosh. Running the play, never taking anything for granted to start things off.
Here's Dunn. Drives. Rejected. But the foul. As we said, 38th meeting between these squads, but you know, St. John's has won 4 straight against Marquette here at Carnesecca.
Yep, they'll have to do it this afternoon without the fans.
Right, you're right.
So they always get a good lift in this building when the fans are ready for a Big East game.
Here's Dunn. Had a season high 4 steals against Butler the other night, and defensively, generally St. John's one of the worst, but boy, they put the clamp on Butler, the Bulldogs.
Yeah, and he just played an all-around good game too, with 5 assists, 4 rebounds. Maybe to get an extra guy in here to help out breaking this press. They reach from behind just then. And Williams Jr.
That'll be one of the keys, don't you think, on how Marquette handles this press and not turn it over?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think Coach Woj was thinking about that and worrying about that in terms of the turnovers. Like to keep that number down as much as he possibly can. They only turn it over about 14 times a game, but the other side, it's 18 almost for St. John's in the turnovers from a defensive perspective.
He said he wanted it at around 12.
Right, exactly.
This is Garcia. They call a block on Roberts.
Yep, a little late to that spot. Good release pass from the double team, but you'll notice that Marquette has to be thinking constantly about where's the extra guy coming from a defensive standpoint.
Roberts is going to have a seat. That's his 2nd foul. So Arnaldo Toro will check in. He's the grad transfer from George Washington.
A different look defensively right now with the zone look.
Inside to John.
Nice diagonal pass. That's the way to keep the ball popping.
Garcia working on Toro. Tried to reverse it. No good.
Toro, a big factor defensively just then, especially not going for the first ball fake in the extension with the pivot foot.
Dunn lost it. Garcia from 3. Count it.
Well, that's a nice soft touch, isn't it?
Yeah. 6'11", too.
Yeah, 39% from threes. And it's one thing to hit the stationary 3, but a transition one for a guy that big just really tells you what type of talent he is.
He was the Big East Freshman of the Week. And Champagnie misses that 3. Here's Carton. Oh, good block by Toro. Garcia lost it out of bounds.
A minute worth of defensive effort by Toro. Both of them perfectly done in terms of playing the D, watching the basketball, and making sure first time the big guy, second time the guard, that they get snuffed out of there.
I tell you what, we've only played 4 minutes, but Woj is already, he is already in it. He is going ballistic on the sideline.
I think these coaches like the casual look too, because they don't ruin the suits and shirts with the sweating and perspiration.
He is in it. Here's Champagnie. Thought he got fouled. Just threw it up.
The officials on the Marquette bench, though, thought it was an offensive foul. Here's Garcia letting one rip from long range. An aggressive start at both ends.
Three-point lead for St. John's. We've played 4.5 here in the first half, and we talked about the freshman Darson Garcia, who leads the Marquette charge. Well, Tuesday night against Providence, man, he was a bucket getter.
Yeah.
20 points on 7 of 11 shooting.
Yeah, watch the way he blends the different types of drives to the basket. Here's a little post-up, high-low action over the top. And then, as we've seen, step away and let one fly. And boy, he's got the whole deal going.
Marquette walked away with a 10-point victory, and Garcia leads all Big East freshmen in scoring and rebounding, averaging 13 and 7. Here's Alexander. That three's no good. Rebound.
Yep, 2 on the shot clock. Had no choice but to shoot that one. Nothing's going to come easy for either offense this afternoon. You can just see it already 5 minutes or so deep into this game.
Here's Garcia again. They go inside. And that's good. Justin Lewis, the freshman who just checked in.
Beautiful high-low action that we just saw in the highlights from the other night. And that time it's Garcia making a good tough pass over the top.
Lewis, the freshman out of Baltimore, he had a nice tip-in win for Marquette when they beat Indiana. Or Wisconsin, I should say, earlier this season.
So watch the hold down low. He's real good at just keeping his lower body strong against the defender. That allows the offensive passer out front to go over the top, knowing that he's got his hand up, but also he can see that he's secured the defender on his hip.
1-point lead. Williams, step back 3.
That's a tough one there. A lot of times they will come up short on those step backs.
Looking to Lewis again. Ooh, steps away from the double team.
May have gotten away with the hook just then, but didn't go anywhere with it.
Little elbow shiver. Here's Carton. Drive, left hand. Yes.
So you got to read the scouting reports. Strong hand, left, force him a little more to his right. He can go right, but you always want to send somebody there a weak hand.
7-0 run by these Golden Eagles. And they've got their first lead, 9-8. Here's Toro. Works on Lewis, got him up in the air with the ball fake, couldn't finish.
Yeah, just did everything right just then. Held his pivot foot, ball fake, turns properly, and just couldn't deliver the goods.
Again, they go into Lewis. Little jump up, and it rolls in. I like it, freshman.
Freshman to freshman. How about Garcia just with that simple, fundamental one bounce to the left side of the floor to get a little better angle to deliver it? Nice work by both of those young players.
And I love that this is a freshman who comes off the bench and gives you 12 a game.
Now think of that freshman combo with him and Garcia, right?
Dunn nearly lost it. He'll pull up. Carton. He's the transfer from Ohio State. McEwen. Gobi drives. They say no shot. Foul on the floor. Ronaldo Toro. Wholesale substitutions. Garcia and Carton have a seat. So will Toro and Williams. St. John's has missed their last 6 shots.
I think they had St. John's has to blend in a little bit more driving to the basket. Don't just settle for those long-range shots.
Here's McEwen with one of those long-range shots and splash from 3.
Boy, really playing well. Last game at 17 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists. So the guy who could really fill it up for Marquette.
Here's Cole in the lane and gets the roll.
Yeah, see the better results when they start going towards the middle of the paint. They force the action. You put a little pressure on the defense with the dribble. Just don't want to make it easy for a defensive team.
First points in 5 minutes for the Red Storm. Here's a 3 by Lewis.
We got a tight one here so far. Look at Carton extending and getting that ball away from the defender. Get a little step-in, rotation shot. Well done from long range. Grand
Cherokee Jeep. There's only one. You know, at the top we said Marquette would usually throw 4 starters at you that average double figures. These are the guys, and you can see combined, they've already put up 10 of the 14 points that Marquette has right now.
Yeah, when you think about it against Providence, their last time out, 5 guys had 10 points or more in that game. 4 starters and Lewis off the bench, so a little different than last year's team. No Marcus Howard, right?
You're right. And that was one of the things Woj said. Probably offensively, we have better balance.
Yep.
So I just don't know who's going to give me the scoring night in and night out, though. Who's going to be the guy?
It's nice if 3 or 4 of them show up every night.
We talked about Marcus Howard. Boy, look at the numbers this man put up. You want to talk about a prolific scorer. And now with the Denver Nuggets.
Yeah, Woj saying that it's nice to have a guy who could come in and get 30 or 40 for you on a given night.
That foul's on Jamal Cain. That's his second. So he's going to have a seat. St. John's has made just one of their last 7 shots. Dylan Adaiwusu has checked in.
Him and Arlington out there giving 2 aggressive players.
Same with Isaiah Moore. We didn't see action in their last game against Butler. Josh Alexander.
That's driving Woj crazy on the Marquette bench, but St. John's very, very happy with them. They stay the other way now. Good double team in the corner.
Yeah, they turn it over. They turn Samir Torrance over.
Woj does not want to see those drives, especially where no one's stepping in from the weak side. Generally means that you have pretty good movement on the weak side.
That 3, no good. There's a push off there by Adaiwusu.
There's a reason he got that rebound that easily. Huh? Well, he got away with the travel, maybe out of bounds there. Walked a little bit.
Here's Kobe McEwen. Hangs. And the tip in, yes, by Theo John.
John, another guy who really does the hard work for this Marquette team in terms of around the glass, rebounding, blocking shots.
Arlington. No, John the rebound.
Yeah, a little adjustment on the fly for St. John's in terms of making changes, going to the basket more. And there you go, right on the glass. Good work. A guy who usually triggers their defense also, blocking just under 2 shots per game.
In fact, he's 3 blocks away.
Yeah.
Theo John is from becoming 3rd, or I should say 2nd all time on that blocks list for Marquette. You know, Marquette started 0 of 5. Since then, they've gone 7 of 10 from the field. And Garcia loses it. Here's Alexander. He loses it. Back-to-back turnover.
Here we go. We're flying.
Yeah, here's the track meet. Carton runs right into Cole. That's a charge.
It got so hectic that Cole just kind of pulled his mind together and said, if I just wait this thing out, something good's going to happen defensively. Look, he's just standing there.
Yeah, good position. Good position.
That's a good call from the officials.
Absolutely.
A little wild back and forth, though.
And as you talked about, Carton loves to go to the left. That's when you had to step to the right.
Yep.
You're going to put that one up. Champagnie is checked back in for the Red Storm. Marquette up 4. Here's Alexander. Adaiwusu too strong. And they're going to call that one over the back on Cole. Well, this game, you look at the Red Storm with a victory, all of a sudden they catch Marquette in the standings. And they would be 3 and 5. Taking advantage on the overall record as well. But if you're Marquette, you're looking up at Xavier and Seton Hall. That's who you're trying to catch. 1 and 1 now. for DJ Carton. Marquette has a squad, shoots 71% from the line. One of two. From the sophomore. Alexander open and knocks down the corner jumper.
Yeah, a combination of when St. John's pushes the ball down the floor and gets the action going quickly, either to the basket, and if they think about that, by getting it down the floor, they're much better equipped to get a good look.
Watch behind you.
I know, that was sneaking up, wasn't it?
High screen for Carton. Garcia stolen by Alexander.
Yeah, you can't put a lazy bounce pass into the post like that.
Champagny. And the follow with authority by Isaiah Moore.
Moore giving them good minutes in terms of hustle, following the play. Nice block too on that drive by Champagny. Got it before it got to the glass. But you'll notice St. John's, after every opportunity, violation or made bucket, they're trying to get into their pressing opportunities.
They're doubling the post.
Yep. Don't put it down with these guys. They'll be right there.
From the corner, splash. Greg Elliott, the junior out of Detroit. Alexander. Whoa.
A little hesitation there, wasn't it? And then wide left.
Carton. Strong with that one. This is the pace St. John's likes. At some point, they got to go to the basket. Garcia. He goes to the basket.
He will. Look at where he caught the ball, too, from way outside. St. John's, the activity just then of Alexander with the lazy bounce pass. Here's the drive, a good block, and a nice big old follow by Moore. Garcia knows what to do with it when he gets it within striking distance of the cup.
That couch will be waiting, huh?
Man, there'll be a dent in that cushion by the end of the day.
Garcia completes the three-point play. Largest lead here for Marquette. It is 7.
Champagny involved offensively makes sense.
He's got the freshman Garcia on him.
Yep, they're switching those outside screens too.
Champagny, yes! Yep. Oh no, offensive!
Well, he did the right thing by trying to get him involved. And Torrance gets there. Yep. He hits him flush.
Yep. Offensive foul on Champagny, no basket.
Yeah, he was established before he got into and off the floor.
And a turnover. Kobe McEwen can't run.
I think that's the second time they did that in this game. First time they got caught.
Now what? Oh, and there's a steal.
Watch behind. Oh, watch out.
Torrance, Posh Alexander right into the extension.
What an effort for Alexander to get back just then. Wow. Mike Anderson's team, but watch where he ends up. Oof, man. That's why they put the cushions there, and he just bounces right back up.
Let's check to see if the basket's okay after that one.
That was close to going up the Marquette leg, too.
And another offensive foul. This one's on Lewis. Look at that. Man. Oh, my. Boy, I'm sure as a coach, you love that hustle.
Absolutely. Just a touch out of control for the last stride, which forced him right into that cushion underneath the basket.
7 minutes until the half.
Can't do that.
And here we go now. 3 straight fouls.
Yep, that was Erlington's turn.
3 straight offensive fouls. And
watch number 10 right in the middle. Never established position, caught him with the hip. And Carton's taken off that defensive positioning just then.
Under 7 now. Trying to get Garcia established in the post. Lewis, the drive, flips it up and in.
Boy, that's a pretty shot, too, because it's a tough one to get off as you're getting bumped through the lane aggressively and then somehow turn it into like a half a floater.
8-0 run by Marquette.
Good cut to the basket just then. And watch how difficult this is. You got a player hanging right on your left side, and you have to extend that shot. It's not like a real teardrop going through the middle of the lane. It's like between that and a half a jump hook.
The freshman Lewis now with 6 points. I remember what Woj told us the other day. He said, I like this kid because when he plays well, we win. He's always played well in our big wins. That one too strong. Wow. But he got his own board. Rejected by Lewis. Here's Champagnie. In and out. Ooh, Garcia had it and went and lost it.
Yeah, good effort by Carton, too. And
hey, so far, Julian Champagnie, the Big East scoring leader. Nothing. A donut.
Well, you lead the league in scoring. Somebody's going to put a scouting report trying to slow you down. Saw a little bit of that last night, the Rutgers-Wisconsin game with Ron Harper.
Wow, Dunn going hard to the rack.
I wouldn't say this is the prettiest offensive game I've ever seen, but these guys are getting after it defensively.
And I go back to something Woj told us when we talked about Champagnie. He said, we can't let him beat us. We got to make him play in a crowd.
Yep.
Explain that.
Well, what you need to do is, obviously, from a scouting report standpoint, if he has the ball on the right side, the crowd means that they got to slide into the lane, almost play it if they're man-to-man, but play it as if 2 or 3 guys are anticipating a zone, so that when he comes and puts the ball on the floor, he looks up and it's not one-on-one, but it's 1-on-2 and 3, and you force him to make quicker decisions and get rid of the basketball. And so far, it's working pretty well. As we've spoken a lot about the St. John's pressure, as they're doing right now a little bit, but don't underestimate the defensive effort by Marquette so far. Nice look in the corner.
Elliott, an open 3. And he makes St. John's pay.
Simple work by Marquette just there, and just a nice release pass by Garcia.
Wusu. No.
Wow, every loose ball is crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, really. Woo. It's a fight.
Right around the horn, make an extra pass. Champagnie comes out to contest Garcia, and what does he do? He just releases it. Good fundamentals. You know, he scores well and plays an integral part for Marquette, but Garcia has just basically good old-fashioned fundamentals in part of his game.
Let's see if the Red Storm can turn it around here. Shooting-wise, they're just 6 of 22 from the field thus far. Here's Erlington. Good look. Knocks it down.
Gotten a little better shooting the ball from long range, too. Little selective. Not a true go-to guy with the 3, but still taking it and willing to take it.
6-point lead for Marquette. Coming up on 5 minutes until the half.
Nice matchup here, huh? Two scorers going at one another.
5 on the shot clock. McEwen forces up a 3. My goodness.
Wow. That would indicate to me that something happened just then. Either a tip on the elbow or hit or a deflection. I haven't seen a shot like that in a while.
Yeah. That's what McEwen's complaining about. He's saying that he hit his elbow. Here's Williams. Now Champagnie. Nearly turned it over.
See the crowd concept right there? 3 Marquette players on this side.
He makes them pay as he knocks down the baseline jumper. His first 2 points of the game.
But he gets it out of a broken set just then, where you're going to get a lot of free shots, but he's getting so much attention from 2 and 3 guys at one look.
And there's a block by Erlington. His second.
St. John's foul charge to Ben Marcellus Erlington, his second. Marquette in 11 bonus. Justin Lewis at the line for the Golden Eagles.
Here's Lewis, the freshman, back at the free throw line. Shooting about 65% on the season. So far, Marquette shooting just 50% from the line today.
I was to say, with that stroke that he has, he's got to be better at the free throw line. And you'll see in a year or so that number will go to 75, 78% is my guess.
Erlington left that one short. Adaiwusu. Champagnie comes in and out.
The guy they've been looking at and scouting again, Champagnie, finally finds one from the baseline. Marquette still up 5.
Little under 4 minutes until the half. Marquette with a 5-point lead. Hey, coming up at the half, we got the Jeep Grand Cherokee halftime report. My main man, Mike Thrillhill, Steve Lavin. They will be in our Los Angeles studio. They're going to preview that Creighton Butler game that's coming up. And, of course, we'll have the highlights and analysis as well and all the stats. Hey, talking about Marquette, you know, Woj told us they're better offensively now that Marcus Howard is gone, and it's just a matter of who's going to be the guy to have the most points on a night-in, night-out basis.
Yeah, and it's the balance that makes it really happen for them. And so everybody gets the touches. They're a pretty unselfish team, too, at the offensive end. And just the extra pass has gotten them probably 3 or 4 buckets and a couple of the threes. So Woj has them playing really good team basketball, and they're really shutting it down defensively also. They look at their shot selection. 2-pointers, pretty good blend right there, but defensively, St. John's only 8 for 26 from the floor.
So far, Marquette has turned it over 7 times. 12 is the number that Woj wants to keep the turnovers under. Here's Theo John. They double him. He gets it to Lewis. His shot is blocked.
Whoa, did they bang heads just then?
Champagnie took the worst of it, though.
Yeah, he comes out.
Second on Champagnie.
Justin Lewis at the line for 2 shots.
Ooh, that's an elbow.
That's what it is. Not head on. No wonder why Lewis didn't react at all, too, right? You thought if it was
right.
First, thought it might have been head on head, but he just kind of strolls over. Seems to be okay, but takes a minute or 2 to shake that one off.
Yeah, buddy. Trainer's over taking a look at him now.
Switch up on the defense with the zone right now for Marquette. See if they slide the ball to the middle of the lane, but it's really condensed because they want St. John shooting the long-range shot.
Like that.
Yep, that's exactly what they want to have.
Arlington using that body and follows it up and in.
A great offensive rebounder last year. His numbers a little less this year off the offensive glass. But I love watching Arlington work on the glass. Just doesn't know how to quit.
And the rebounds are driving Woj bonkers. He wants Marquette to rebound the basketball.
That little matchup defense right now. Both coaches switching on the fly.
Good screen by Theo John, who follows it up and in.
So, yeah, look at the position underneath. He tips it to himself, not up in the air, but just stops the ball so he can grab it with two hands.
Watch Theo John clear that space for him.
Boy, big-time lane. And he may have gotten pushed before he even got fouled there, too, by Moore.
Here's Champagny with the ice. Here's Theo John, team leader in games played and starts. Dunn trapped at the baseline. Williams. Nope.
Yep. Defensively, they're forcing the game away from the paint, where St. John's has had some of their success.
Elliott misses that three.
Now you try to beat that press, beat the zone down the floor.
Adaiwusu, yes, from three.
Then you get a better shot. You push the ball in transition. You don't let Marquette have time to set up their defensive zone. Nice look there, a little cross-court action. Somebody has to fill the middle there against that defensive double teaming in the backcourt.
They go into John. Sees the double, finds Elliott. Missed it. Lewis, the follow with the left hand.
Boy, he's got a knack, doesn't he?
And a freshman.
Yeah, for just being around the glass. Good hands, making plays. Fun to watch.
Arlington from the baseline. No. Here's Lewis. Good. Into John. He's got position
and size.
Yes, he does.
Couldn't convert, though. Nice little seal against Arlington and a good delivery. See if St. John's can make an adjustment. Need somebody to try to get to the middle of the floor and then look to your baseline.
Coming up on a minute until the half. 5 on the shot clock for the Red Storm. Dunn tried to throw it up to Isaiah Moore.
Might have been McEwen with the little push as that ball was being floated.
That's the second on McEwen, 1-1. So here's Isaiah Moore. He's a junior, transferred in from Charleston. They go back to the freshman Lewis. He's got the hot hand. He's got 11 game-high score.
And you almost think 2 possessions to 1 here.
Here's Carton in the lane. Little runner.
Smart. They get that one and they'll at least get another possession just based on the clock.
Williams back the other way. Had it, lost it. Wow. And Lewis comes up with it. Carton. And knocked away by Adaiwusu.
That's where they don't quit. Mike Anderson's teams just do not quit. When you get it past them at half court, you think you really have numbers and an opportunity, and they keep coming after you with the deflections.
Woj is going to call a timeout. 23 seconds until the half. It's Marquette up 9. 9-point lead for Marquette. 23 seconds left until the half.
Part of that timeout, too, Brian, was to make sure that his team understands we get the last shot in this half. Worst case, we go in with a 38-29 lead. Watch out.
Oh, my. Alexander, the steal. Oh, watch out. Challenge. Oh, boy. What a fall, though, by Alexander.
Well, that's a second tough one he's taken, right? A few minutes ago into the underneath the basket at the other end of the floor. Into the cushion, and that time it was unfortunately no cushion there. Look at this play, though, to tip the ball ahead. That's a smart play. And then he's up in the air, and he just can't get the hands down quick enough. Because he's trying to find body, which he does, and then he's just a little off balance on the way down. Generally, as a player, you kind of anticipate when you're going to fall down, and you get your hands ready to brace it. Sometimes you don't get them there.
He misses that first one. You know, Pass Alexander already with 3 steals here in this game. He leads the conference, the Big East, in steals.
It's his 9th game with 2+ steals, too.
One of 2. Lead is 8. Woj calls for 1 shot.
St. John's still in that matchup.
Here's Carton with 5. McEwen. Elliott for 3 at the buzzer.
Yep, I think he got that off, too.
Largest lead for Marquette at 11. Out of the hand at .1, too.
Didn't waste any time. That extra pass was pretty neat, though, to get that wide open shot. Sometimes guys panic a little bit too quickly.
Marquette with an 11-point lead over St. John's as they review it again. And you see them, they say it is good. Marquette, 20 points of their 41 have come in the paint, compared to St. John's just 8. And for the Golden Eagles, they have outscored their opponents in the paint in 11 of the 13 games this season. So that's a key stat for Marquette and key to their success.
Yeah, it really is when you take a look at these stats here, too. 31% shooting for St. John's. And the 3-point field goals. Marquette has figured it out. Let's push this game off defensively. Let's push them out as far as we possibly can. Don't let them get on track. Normally, St. John shoots at about 34% on the season, but clearly everything else except the points in the paint for Marquette. But that one thing, 4 for 16, they got to drive it and post up a little bit better in the second half.
Those are our first half stats, sponsored by Jeep Grand Cherokee. And so if you're the Red Storm, you're talking about doing what in the second half?
Well, a couple of things. Number one, I'm going to make the adjustment that you know that Marquette is going to start either switching man-to-man back into zone, and they're going to keep trying to confuse you as much as possible. But I think against the zone, what St. John's has to do is get a guy into the middle of the floor, get a little bit of a pass in there, and then go to the baseline. But you can't just go around the horn and shoot the ball from long range.
And if you're Woj, you know you got to feel good about what your guys did. As we take a look again at the standings, because this is a Golden Eagle squad trying to catch Xavier and Seton Hall, so they know they got to get on a roll here. What does Woj say to his team here for the second half?
I think patience. Number one at the offensive end, and be aware of that, you know, because now that St. John's is down 11 at the half, you know they're going to come out and pressure. Exactly. They're going to pressure full court. They're going to pressure half court. So just make sure your decisions, and that's where I think Carton comes into play for the most part, to direct the offense, to direct the traffic, and make things happen without turning the ball over.
Well, you know, Mike DeCourcy, you know, our bracketologist here, he's got 4 teams from the Big East in the tournament. And of course, you'll see Creighton in our next game here. Of course, Creighton, one of the highly ranked teams in the country.
Right.
Villanova expected to resume basketball activities and play for the first time in a couple of weeks on Tuesday. And then Seton Hall and Xavier. He's got Providence as the one of his first 4 teams out of that tournament, the NCAA tournament. So Marquette, we talked a lot about Dawson Garcia, and listen, we saw some flashes of the freshman, but it was the other freshman, Justin Lewis, who was the guy for the Golden Eagles.
Yeah, the thing about Lewis is that talented, very good hands, gets in good spots on the floor, and just kind of plays. He doesn't really stick out. He just stands out from the standpoint of just doing the right thing at the right time. And I think the combination of him and Garcia, for 2 young players who have those kind of skills, the upside for Marquette is pretty good as this season advances and obviously into next year.
Lewis, the game high scorer with the 11 points. And I just remember Woe says he plays well in all of our big wins. He's had that tip in against Wisconsin. Wisconsin, I think, was ranked 4th at the time when he got that tip in to help them get that victory.
Yeah, they were number 4 at the time in December. And just a consistent, constant play. 6 games this year with 10 points or more. Struggling a little bit shooting the ball the last 7 games at 36%, but first 6 games he came out shooting it at 53%.
One guy too we'll have to keep really our eye on is Champagnie, because he's the Big East scoring leader, averaging at 20 a game, really just 2 in that first, and then takes the elbow, and he spent most of the last few minutes there with ice on the side of his face.
Yeah, and that one wasn't surprising to me that they left him on the sidelines for the last couple of minutes of the half. Make sure he gets that ice, and make sure, number one, that he's okay. In terms of getting a shot to the head, you want to make sure there's no signs of a concussion, what have you. Not to speculate either way. Just play it safe, and I thought that made sense for them to keep him out, just to really be cautious with him and make sure nothing happens.
And the 41-30 is the score here at the half, largest lead that Marquette has had here in the first half. Well, coming up, as we get set for the second half, it's Marquette with an 11-point lead over the Red Storm. I'm Brian Custer alongside my partner Jim Spinarco. What does the Red Storm need to do to get back in this one?
I think what you do, if you're Mike Anderson, Brian, you go into that locker room, you say, hey, we were in this game. It was a 5 or 6 point game most of the first half. Now it's 11. We shot 31%. Then rip up the stat sheet and say it's going to be about effort going out onto that floor right now and make things happen defensively, and we can't settle for the 3. We're 4 for 16 from the 3-point stripe. That's going to be a problem if we don't start driving this ball to the basket.
Red Storm will inbound. Greg Williams will do that. Here's Bosh Alexander. Here's Champagnie. That shot blocked. Back to Williams, and he lays it in.
So right off the bat, they end up trying to get something going to the hoop. Champagnie first, and then they uptick their aggressiveness. Expect them to see really a lot of jumps out of full court. There's a push-off.
Push-off and turnover by McEwen.
Watch the right arm. Not much, but it's a good call.
His third. So he's got to have a seat. Greg Elliott will check in for Marquette.
It's one of the things about McEwen. 4+ fouls in 7 of 13 games this season.
Williams misses the 10-footer.
So I think after 2 possessions, St. John should have a little bit of confidence because of the fact that they got 2 good looks there. Probably the best 2 looks they've gotten in a while compared to the first half.
They look for Garcia.
Hasn't gotten many touches one-on-one in the blocks.
Tried to step through and lost it. Nice good give and rejected by Kane, but they say goaltending.
It's the way to get that break going. Good decision. Stay wide. Nice delivery by Dunn. And it gets to the glass.
2 possessions, both buckets for the Red Storm. Lead is now 7. Here's Garcia again. And rejected by Roberts.
Want to get a good shot right here to trail. A little late. Yep, didn't get it to him on time. See, the first guy does the work. Champagnie does the work here, and that makes him readjust the shot and allows your shot blocker in the back to set it up for the big-time block. So what you're going to do right now, Brian, is you want to get a bucket here if you're St. John's and give it right away. I was going to say to maybe force Marquette to call a timeout and give yourself a real good burst coming in for a timeout. Wow. John sets some big screens.
Yes, he does. Garcia missed that corner 3. Good tip, and Jamal Cain lays it in.
Wow, it was a beautiful tip.
Elliott set up Cain. Here's Williams again. Challenged by John.
Like the adjustments, though. Everything going to the basket. They were 4 of 16 from the three-point stripe in the first half. Not even a smell of a three-pointer yet for St. John's.
Oh, that one a little too aggressive by John.
Still pretty physical, though.
Yeah.
Watch number 4. Kind of like a little bit of a body block there. He's moving though, and the arms are coming up at the same time. You got to be stationary.
Second on John. Champagnie. Wow, he can't find it today.
1 for 8.
Garden. Dish to Cain. And Elliott will pull up. Knocks it down. I'll tell you what, Elliott has just been smooth today.
Really has, too, because he's coming off a game where didn't really get much action against their last time out against Providence.
Oh, that block there by Cain. I tell you what, Marquette actively, defensively. Roberts with the bunny.
Amazing how different the first half is. They're making, St. John's is making it look easy that they can go by people now because they've probably been talking about it since the half. It's going to be Marquette ball.
Well, you talked about Champagnie. He has scored in double digits in every game so far this season. You can see the shiner there under that right eye. He took the elbow in the first half. Just 2 points. 1 of 9 so far from the field.
Yeah, that was a pretty good shot.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, that's like a
oh, how about that? The alley-oop to Cain.
Real good adjustment here by Marquette. First 2 minutes, St. John's came out, really were trying to tag them with one. Nice cut to the basket. Good delivery by Champagnie.
So far here, you talk about points in the paint here in this second half. St. John's had 8 in the first half. Here in the second half, another 8 already. Champagnie shot rejected. 1 of 10. He is now from the field. There's the 3. Did you talk about he loved that corner 3?
He loves that real estate in the left corner. We worked the Butler game this past Tuesday, and again today, stepped across the line in violation.
He did.
And Champagnie just comes out for 4 games and finds that corner. There's a guy who's struggling from the field. Doesn't stop him from letting one rip.
Big East basketball. It is sponsored by Jeep Grand Cherokee. Jeep, there's only one. 6-point lead for Marquette, 47-41. You know, millions of kids nationwide are without their normal access to sports and play due to COVID-19. That's why, Fox Sports and Good Sports are restoring play for kids and the programs that serve them through donations of brand new sports equipment. Text PLAY to the number on your screen and help kids stay in the game.
Yep, get them active.
Absolutely. Oh, there's some cuties. How about that shiner there? Champagny. This is a 12-round fight for Champagny.
Didn't stop him from coming back out.
No, buddy. He's got 5. Vin Cole has checked into the lineup for the Red Storm. Alexander driving on Garcia. Theo John clears the board.
Once again, another drive towards the basket, Brian. They're getting what they want. Just cannot finish that one, a contested one. Wow.
Rise and go get it.
Yeah, you're not kidding. Turn the corner and nobody is home at all. Just so quick around the corner. Take a listen to this one.
Third foul on Jamal Cain. Here's Cole. Stolen by Carton. He's got hops. Wow. Man, DJ, play my song.
He even gave the bench a look to see if they approved of that drive.
My goodness, DJ Carton has just gone bazonkers with 2 dunks.
Turn this arena into a dunking show.
Oh.
A little deceiving, too. I didn't think he was going to do that emphatically. Oh, man. Woo.
Ten-point lead for Marquette, thanks in part to 2 vicious dunks by DJ Carton, and Marquette made their last 5 field goals. Carton now with 9.
And you finally saw that smile, but here he is going to his left, a strong hand, little pull-up in the lane. Really giving them big bounce, and then the 2 dunks. One on the left side, and this is the one that's the one I had a little trouble with in my day. I would have just laid that up.
Here's DJ's greatest hits. 9 points, 2 dunks in a matter of 28 seconds.
I would hit the bottom of the rim on the way up.
Champagny, that's from his spot in the corner.
Against the zone, too. Good reaction. The quickness in the release for St. John's after that timeout. There's the middle of the floor. He got to fill. That's one way to break the first 2 guys in the wave. Nice hands.
Alexander almost came up with a steal.
I see him going left.
Gets off balance.
Yeah, you got to force him right.
Alexander to Champagny. He powers it in.
Now Marquette has to be careful right now because Champagny he's coming out of the shooting slump right now. He's seen a couple of buckets go in for him. So his mindset has to be totally different.
It's a guy who had just 2 points at the half. He's got 10 now.
That's good.
And it looks like they're turning over Marquette.
You know, the other thing, too, about Champagny, when he got that hit to the right side of his face that you talked about, and we talked about in the first half, sometimes as a player, when you come out, Brian, after you've gotten hit, mentally you just say, well, you know what? The expectations aren't as high for me right now in the second half because I'm playing quote-unquote injured or through an injury. Might have some effect on his new positive approach that he's showing versus his stats in the first half.
Well, for Marquette, listen, in this second half, they've turned the ball over now 6 times. Remember, Woe said 12 is the number he's looking at. They're at 14 now.
And we still have 14-ish minutes to go.
And you said that. You said, hey, they need to be aware that the Red Storm are going to turn up the pressure to get back in this game, and that's exactly what they've done.
Well, I'm sure Mike Anderson, as I mentioned at the halftime break, just let's talk energy. Let's get back into this game with our energetic defensive effort, and I also think there's some energy at the offensive end with their selective drives to the basket.
So just under 14 to play. They try to adjust the shot clock.
Yeah, Marquette had a chance to really extend this lead, but St. John's on their home floor saying they don't want anything to do with that. See the way they're every catch they're thinking of driving it.
Yeah. Champagny will go to the line.
I'm sure that's what Mike Anderson had to say at halftime. Had to be talking about let's drive it, let's drive it. If we have to get the kick out, we will. But if you keep the ball moving and do something with it, it makes it so much more difficult for a team, any team, Marquette in this example, to try to rotate and defend. Because you always have to worry about your own man because he's coming right at you.
Dawson Garcia will return. Justin Lewis will have a seat. Red Storm have won 4 straight against Marquette here at Carnesecca. 6-1 on the season thus far. Their only loss has come to Creighton here.
I do like to be dribbling the ball up against this guy.
Oh, man. Another rip.
He's got a layup.
Champagny hits a spot. And the Big East scoring leader is starting to get warm.
He has awakened.
9-0 run by the Red Storm, all by Julius Champagny. And Roberts rejects him at the rim.
Nice look to the middle.
Wow. For the lead, yes, Champagny.
You probably want to get a timeout. Yeah, here it comes with Marquette, because that last bucket forced Marquette psychologically to say, hey, we are in big trouble. We better call off the dogs right here.
First lead since 8-7 in the first half, thanks to Julian Champagny. Two-point lead for the St. John's Red Storm, thanks to their defense. Roberts with the rejection, and it leads to offense on the other end by Julius Champagny, who was just 1 of 10, 2 points in the first half. Since then, 5 of 5, 15 points. He keyed a 12-0 run by himself for the Red Storm.
Wild, just wild the way he's come out. And I'm looking at St. John's as a team right now coming out. They're out there just as that buzzer sounds to get them on the floor. They're ready to roll, and Marquette just a touch late. So Mike Anderson's halftime speech has worked. Now the key becomes, can you maintain it for longer periods of time? This should be an all-out blitz defensively right here too, Brian. Looking for the double teams, trying after the break to get a turnover again. There you go, get to the middle of the floor. Watch behind you, though.
Let's not forget the job that Posh Alexander has done, the freshman, with 5 steals so far here today for the Red Storm. And you know that St. John's leads the conference in steals.
Yeah, and it's one of the things. We got 2 big guys underneath. I think John.
Adaiwusu and Theo John.
Yep. May have taken exception. It looked like John threw another one of those muscle screens. Who's ever gonna catch it.
Well, Theo's one of those guys in hobbies. He says, I love to lift weights. I don't know. And rejected by Roberts again, his second. Champagny. It misses that 3.
Yeah, contested. Much better job of contesting on the transition by Carton that time. And Champagny just moving and not settled. Didn't get himself set quite well enough.
Theo John asking for it. And knocked away by Roberts.
2-on-1. Lost the handle.
He did. They'll reset.
Dunn will try to break somebody down off the dribble if he can.
Here's Cole. Oh, that's a travel. Let me tell you something. Then once you go to that next league, you can do that.
Yeah, exactly. And then another.
2-point lead for St. John's. 2-point lead for St. John's. I tell you what, Julian Champagnie leads the Big East in scoring at 20 points per game. And, listen, I love boxing.
I was thinking the same thing.
It's Mike Tyson who said everyone has a game plan until you get punched in the face.
Yep, exactly.
Well, he was just 2 points in the first half, and then he got hit in the face.
He sure did.
And all of a sudden, he awakened here in the second half.
So what did he take? The standing 8 count, but it didn't slow him down any, huh? Comes right back out, and he starts firing away as if nothing ever happened to him. And as I mentioned to you, psychologically sometimes when you're playing injured, you can kind of relieve yourself of the pressure and just go out and play because the expectations are just a little less. Now he may have put himself in a spot where the expectations are going to be higher.
17 points he has now. Meanwhile, Marquette, 8 turnovers, 0 of 1 from 3 here in the second half.
Yeah, they have to show collective confidence right now that they can execute a half-court set. And so far, they're not.
And Lewis had that one knocked away by Marcellus.
Just seems like every possession there's a deflection or a guy in your way as you think you're going to make a nice little dribble drive or do something with it. Like right here, step in, another step in, double team. And all of a sudden you look up, Brian, the shot clock's at 5.
5, yep. Here's Garcia. He's going to have to force it up.
And if you're Mike Anderson, you're applauding that defensive set.
Here's Dunn. A pull-up. Short.
Pretty good balance by St. John's. They want to go to the post-up, especially against the man-to-man.
McEwen. Little runner, no. There's Lewis, the freshman. He was looking for the and one.
Just the positioning that he gets before the play really starts to develop. He senses when the shot's going to go up and just has terrific anticipation in terms of where it's going to be and where he can get some action on the offensive glass. You got to work to get there, but you also have to think about it and anticipate where the ball's going to bounce, as simple as that sounds.
How about the momentum of this game? I mean, we come out in the beginning of the second half, and boom, thunderous dunks by Marquette. They got a double-digit lead, and then all of a sudden, Julian Champagnie gets hot. St. John's retakes the lead, and now we're all tied up.
Yeah, and then this guy coming in right here, Alexander. He put the defensive clamps on a few people.
Hey, I tell you what, Alexander, 5 steal matches his season high.
Nice cut.
And there he is. And follows it up and in.
Oh, boy, that was a beautiful set off the high screen, middle of the floor. And the double teams keep coming.
There they are. Here's Elliott. Gives it to Lewis. Tries to use the body and missed it.
Good pullback. Nothing there.
Cole. Now Marquette looking to push.
Yeah, they're trying to get it down the floor to get an easy bucket. But here's that post-up I just mentioned. Try to isolate, and here comes the double team.
Now, at some point, does a guard from Marquette need to come all the way over?
Yeah, when you double team, when you put the ball to the right side like that, you got to slide and follow the pass and get so that your big guy can see you ready to go, especially if your man double teams.
He'll throw it to Garcia. Under 10 minutes left in the game. They work it around Elliott.
Boy, the reaction is just really good.
And he's trapped on the baseline. Samir Torrance from the top, no, but there's McEwen who runs it down.
A couple St. John's players were looking at one another rather than going after the basketball. Good work by McEwen on that offensive glass for sure. And that long shot, long rebound.
Garcia now from distance.
Boy, what a release that is, huh? Having your big guys step away. Who's going to come out and guard him?
He's got 11 now. Here's Champagnie. Extra pass to Van Cole. Yes.
Totally different team. St. John's looks like compared to the first half. And Brian, it continues to give them opportunities for the double teams. Mike Anderson kind of trying to keep fresh legs in there. Oh.
They'll call that one on Diawusu. That's his fifth, too.
Yeah, that's pretty long, too. That shot right there. Yeah, Brian, sometimes, you know, when watching St. John's play defense, at every level, when you were preparing for a team that would be really double teaming you and playing full court aggressive man-to-man, a coach in practice would put 7 guys on the floor and offensively 5 against 7 because you had to learn how to react with extra 2 guys out there so that when you came against 5 guys on the floor, it seemed a little easier. But it almost appears that St. John's has like a 6th guy out there sometimes. They're just so quick. And that's a compliment to them with their defense.
Theo John's asking for it.
Yep, and he got it.
And he goes. Turns on Champagnie.
Yeah, that was just a power play at 6'9", 245.
Third on Champagnie.
Champagnie's a pretty big guy in his own right, but he gives up about 20 pounds or so in there.
Well, due to some COVID issues inside the Howard program, Monday's Notre Dame-Howard games canceled. So it's St. John's. UConn will now move into that 2 p.m. Eastern time slot, only on Fox. And you know what? You got a nightcapper there on FS1. New Mexico and UNLV.
Next time down, I might post up John again, especially if Champagnie's guarding him, because he has 3 fouls right now as they go to this flat-out matchup defense again. Looks like a 2-3.
Ten seconds on the shot clock. Williams. Cole, good ball fake, pull up. Nope, but Champagnie got pushed.
You see what happened, though, there, Brian, when they switched up the defense a little bit. Then all of a sudden you start to say, okay, what is this? Is it a man-to-man we're going against? Is it a zone? And next thing you know, that clock starts working against you if you don't recognize it very quickly. The job of the guard and the coaching staff, if they can, to see what they're in, communicate it, so everybody's on the same page early.
Here's Champagnie. Too strong.
Wow.
Real strong.
Yeah, good shooter, too. That Marquette fell asleep on the inbounds pass just then, too, to get a pretty wide open look.
Under 8. Tied up at 58.
Oh, screens.
Hard screen. And reward him. How about Alexander? Yeah, buddy.
I'm glad I'm sitting up here.
Yeah, really.
Whoa. That's a little payback from the screen.
Buckle up. up for what should be a really good finish here. You know, Marquette, so far in the second half, has scored 17 points. Julian Champagnie has scored 15 by himself here in the second half.
Yeah, he has really been electric in terms of making things happen. To see the 6 for 15 from the floor for Marquette. They were 15 to 30 for 50% in that first half.
All tied up at 58. Theo John will go to the line for Marquette.
Averages about 8 points a game, so he's not really featured in terms of in the post-up, but he's had good success 2 trips in a row. And I'm sure Marquette is thinking about calling his number again. Until St. John's makes a decision on a change and an adjustment. You know, if they double team him, guys on the perimeter have to be ready to catch and shoot.
Knocks them both down. Good stroke, too. Yep. 2-point lead for Marquette.
Back to the man-to-man, so Marquette switching it up a little bit.
Call that one on McEwen. His 4th.
I think the previous set before that timeout just then, Brian, where there was a little action underneath with John and really 2 of the St. John's players. I think the officials now are like saying to themselves, okay, we got to make sure not to call the quick ones, but just be a little bit more attuned to the aggressive play now with 7.5 to go. That's why I would drive the ball constantly for either team.
Here's Champagnie, and that screen on Greg Williams. On Garcia.
Even the simple exchanges aren't easy here.
No, not at all. I tell you, I think this is going down to the wire.
Yeah, I do too. Watch Alexander. See if he can jump the left side. Now, Carton can go to his right, but anytime you can force a lefty to go to his right, not as comfortable.
Good screen by Theo John, and it gave him enough space to knock down that triple.
Good decision there by Carton. Used the right hand, but used it to his advantage when he had the screen to go through.
Here's Cole. Wow. Oh, rejected by John. Carton again. Alexander drops a dime to Roberts.
By Alexander.
You see Alexander, he pointed to his side.
Yep.
He pointed to his side, told the bench. Let's see if he eventually comes out. Here's Elliott.
Alexander just barely getting down the floor this trip.
Elliott in, little floater. Here's Williams. The drive, no. Carton's got it. It's 2-on-2.
Garcia coming late.
Elliott open for 3. Garcia.
Yeah, that's Garcia. He ran the floor. That's why he had a position. It's going to be a foul, I think, called. Here comes the screen up high.
Man, that's the space he needed.
Yep. Nice read there. Notice how John goes straight up there and doesn't bring that right arm down. A lot of times you see shot blockers go up, they put the arm down, and next thing you know, they call for a foul. Good straight up.
Alexander, he's going to have a seat. You see him holding his hip.
Yeah, he's going to be
He has had a long day and a number of hard falls.
Yep. Be the whirlpool with ice tonight, probably.
Yeah, you're right. 1-1 here for Greg Williams. Up 4th on Theo John. Well, I should say Kane. Look at this.
There's one.
That was the first one.
Yep, that was a...
And that was when he was going for the layup.
And lost his balance after the bump.
Here's Garcia. Turns. Rejected by Roberts.
Nice work by Champagnie to start.
Done. Yes. Count it.
Great recognition by St. John's defensively. Marquette, knowing that they could post up and try a little post up, they mixed it up. Beautiful block that leads to the transition. Get your shoulders out in front, and you're in control on the break. Elliott from behind. Good call from the officials.
Here's Dunn.
Just won't go away, St. John's.
Shooting a little bit under 20% from the free throw line, but knocks that one down.
I like the way Mike Anderson has kept the troops fairly fresh in terms of the substitution patterns. Real difficult way to play when you're full court pressing and double teaming and trapping.
Here we go. 1-point lead for Marquette. 5 minutes basically left in this game.
Shooters have to be ready to shoot. There you go.
Kane. Strong. Here's the freshman Lewis, stripped by Williams.
Brought it down almost to his ankles.
Cole for three. And Carton snags it.
Nice smart play by Carton. Nothing there. 1-on-2.
Kane thought about it. Kane turns the corner. Get a little floater. Here's Greg Williams now. He'll pull up, knocks it down, and it's the Red Storm with a 1-point lead.
Plus Roberts was in that play, just getting in the way a little bit, and then cleared out. Nice understanding of when to go and pull it up.
A 6-0 run by the Red Storm. Williams with 15.
There's going to be some action on the blocks.
Wojo's going to call a timeout.
The fake, go left, mid-range jumper. Still love to see it.
Thanks, Matt. Appreciate it. That was Zagorowski, huh? That game will be really interesting. 1-point lead for the Red Storm, and this is why this game's important. It's all about elevating yourself. Red Storm trying to catch Marquette in the standings. Meanwhile, Marquette trying to catch Xavier in the standings. As we take a look at our game reset, possession arrow pointing towards Marquette. It's St. John's with 2 timeouts, Marquette with just 1. McEwen takes the bump from Alexander. You can see he's still feeling the effects of all the falls he's had today.
Took a little, watch his reaction after he gets hit in the 0 there. And then see him hold on like a punch to the gut almost. I will say one thing. Mike Anderson and us are never going to question that kid's toughness.
Oh, my God.
It's just amazing to watch.
Really?
He's had a couple of opportunities where he could have said, okay, maybe I'll just go back to the locker room and put my feet up.
Right.
He's stayed with it the whole afternoon here.
He's got a season-high 5 steals.
7 assists, too. Oof.
1-point lead for Marquette.
Activity pretty good away from the ball for St. John's.
You're watching FS1 College Hoops. Brian Custer, Jim Spanarkel. We're in New York City. St. John's, Marquette. 2-on-1. Kane. Warm it. Missed it, but follows up his own miss.
I thought Carton, as unselfish as he was, Brian, gave that ball, that pass up maybe a stride too early. But they end up getting 2 out of it.
3-point lead. 3 minutes left. Here's Champagnie for 3.
Boys, talk about sticking one in somebody's face. Lewis right there. What a half for Champagnie.
He's right on his season average, the Big East scoring leader at 20.
And Marquette in that first half thinking, hey, we put the clamps on him. Maybe we'll have ourselves a little easier game.
And a turnover by McEwen.
Well, this is just a straight up. Watch the hands defensively. Hands right there. He shoots right through it. Not a whole lot you can do. Just don't let him catch the ball, probably.
18 turnovers for Marquette. And we're tied up at 69.
Got to go by him.
Here's Dunn. Rejected by Lewis, the freshman.
Go by him, but he reacted very quickly, Lewis. Help from John behind to close the wall down. This is like we've talked in the first half, coming into a crowd, forcing him to float away and hesitate a touch.
Timeout on the floor. I'm sure they're going to take another look at that to review. Make sure the possession is indeed for St. John's. That's what was called on the floor. Well, we talked about the falls that Posh Alexander's had. That was the first one. Look at this one. Oh, my.
Yeah, I think the second one was worse than the first one. And the wind knocked out of you for a second.
And that's not counting the number of picks that Theo John has set on him.
Oh, yeah. He's got, I think, at least 3 screens he set on Alexander out front. And John sets it pretty good at 6'9", 245.
So it will be St. John's basketball. 10 seconds on the shot clock.
So plenty of time to get it in and get set. Oh, this
Wait a minute. Is this 5 seconds? Here's Williams.
Good steal there on the baseline.
John contests.
That was well defended by John. An even better job coming back with McEwen to get in there. Guards have to rebound.
2 minutes now. St. John's has won 4 straight over Marquette at home. Good move by Carton, and he finishes.
Wow, Brian, I would just add to that was like 3 good moves just then.
Alexander back the other way.
Pace picking up with 2 minutes left. Generally, it slows down. Last 2 trips. We're having trouble getting this in again.
Here comes Lewis to Carton.
See the difference when he was coming down the floor on his right side. He didn't want to make a quick decision.
Lewis. Theo John in the post. Working on Roberts.
See if Roberts stays up. Oh.
Turns. Stripped by Champagnie.
Beautiful weak side help on the double team and the blocks.
Tied up at 71. 1 minute left in this game. They go to Champagnie. He's been clutch in the second half. A step back.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that one. A little bit of a force.
40 seconds.
Alexander just will not quit defensively. They got to get somebody. Here comes a screen up high just to get him off his shoulder.
McEwen drives. Left hand. Off the glass.
Over the extended arm also of Roberts. Great set and action up high.
St. John's.
finish coming here, Jim Spanarkel.
Yeah, watch the extension. Gets it up quickly, just with Roberts missing that by a second. Little action and bump along the way. Big time hoop.
.23 seconds left in this game. Possession arrow pointed towards the Golden Eagles, who have one timeout. Both teams will go to the line on any foul. No timeouts for the Red Storm. Both teams sitting at 7-6 overall. This is what they're playing for. With a victory for the Red Storm, they would tie Marquette in the conference standings and go ahead of them in overall record. But for Marquette, they're trying to keep pace with Xavier. And I love they were talking to the freshman Lewis, and they said, if you challenge Champagnie, I just want you to contest, hand up. That's it.
Yep, exactly. Let's see if they go man-to-man here or they go zone.
You can see the freshman draws the assignment on Champagnie. They said, just put the hand up. Just contest. Here's Dunn. Looking to tie or win it.
Yeah, why is John out there guarding him if he's not going to?
Now 10 seconds left. And they go into it. Dunn. The call. Blocked by Theo John.
Brian, the only judgment I would make on this is, boy, did they take a long time. You know, when they're down, there's the block. Down by a pair, you want to go much, much quicker than that with that much time on the clock.
You hear Wojo screaming, watch the baseline. John's got 3 blocks.
Yep.
He's now second all time in Marquette in that category.
They go, man, there might be a slip cut in here, too, to the basket.
Champagnie for the win! And it's Marquette who will walk out of Carnesecca with a 2-point victory.
What? I tell you, this shot was high enough, too. Sometimes it's difficult to get that ball in the air from the deep corner when you're forcing one up to get it off quickly. But he launched that with good loft on it just then, and that really had a chance. And I'm sure Wojo was sitting on that one saying, oh, my goodness, they're just going to bury one on me. But they reacted, defended it fairly well without a foul, most importantly.
A number of big shots. Carton, look at that.
That was 2 or 3 good moves right there. You see the hesitation, then he hesitated a second time to get the shot off. And here's that big-time block.
Well, they end that 4-game win streak that St. John's had against Marquette here at Carnesecca, as Marquette walked out of here with a victory. Now 8-6, 4-4 in the Big East. St. John's now 7-7. 73-71 our final. Creighton Butler is next.